Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Our today's topic is chemical reactions. The topic is chemical reaction. There are two part of chemical reaction. One is reactant, and they are the substance which take place in reactions. The substance which take place in reaction. First part of the reaction is reactant, and in this the substances which are taking part in reactions are known as reactant, and the another part is product. These are the substance which are produced after the reaction. These are the substance produced after the reactions are known as product. There are two parts of a reaction. First one is reactant and other is product. And reactants are the substance which are taking part in reaction, and product are the substance which are formed after the reactions. How to write chemical reaction? There is some processes, some rules to write a chemical reaction. How to write chemical reaction? First we have to write symbol and formula. Symbol and formula of a substance. Of the substance. Then written at the left side, and these are separated by plus sign, which means react with. It means we are taking two substances. Suppose magnesium react with sulfuric acid. The first part is magnesium aid with the sulfuric acid. The formula of sulfuric acid is this: these two substances reacting. It means this plus sign shows these two substances are reacting, and this arrow, and these are separated by the arrow. And after producing the MgSO4 and H2, these are the product formed after the reactions, and these products are also separated by the plus sign. Means two things are produced, two things are reacting at the left side, and products are writing at the right side. The symbol and formula of the product are written on the right hand side. These are separated by plus, which means also or along with. Magnesium sulfate produced along with the hydrogen gas. Magnesium is reacting with the sulfuric acid and forming magnesium sulfate and hydrogen. And these two things, this is the part of reactant, and these are the part of product. Product and reactant are separated by the arrow sign, which means to produce or to due. This is the way to write a chemical equation. First, we have to write the formula and symbol of the substances which are taking part in the reactions. And if there are two or more substances are taking part, two or more substances are separating by the using by writing the sign plus sign, and this arrow separate the reactant and product. After the reaction, the product are forming, and this product are also separated by the plus sign. This is the way in which we can write a chemical equation. If there is a KClO3, it's a potassium chlorate, right? KCl plus O2. Here is reactant. Only one reactant is here, but there is two reactants. On heating them, it change into two products. Two products are separated by the plus sign. So this is the way in which we can write the chemical equation. Now the question is this: how to balance equation, and what is balanced equation? Balanced equation, which means the number of reactant and number of product are the same, may be same. The chemical equation in which number of atom of each element, magnesium, hydrogen, sulfur, oxygen, each element are equal on both sides. Both side means reactant side and product side, they may be are in same number, is called balanced equation. Suppose magnesium is one atom of magnesium, here is also one atom of magnesium, two atom of hydrogen, then two atom of hydrogen at the product side, one atom of sulfur, here is one atom of sulfur, and four atom of oxygen, and then four atom of oxygen. This is known as the balanced equation. Here is also KClO3. K potassium is 1, potassium is 1, chloride is 1, and here is chloride is 1. But there is a number of oxygen atom is 3, but there is a number of oxygen atom is 2. It is unbalanced. Unbalanced equation. And this is balanced equation. There is a difference between balanced and unbalanced equation. This is if the number of atoms of all the reactant are same as the number of atoms present in the product. The equation is known as balanced equation. If there is any difference in number of atom of reactant and product, then the equation is known as unbalanced. Significance of chemical reactions. What are the significance and importance of this chemical reaction? CaCO3 plus HCl react to form calcium chloride, water, and carbon dioxide. Right? See, number of calcium is 1, number of calcium is 1 here. Number of carbon is 1, number of carbon is 1. Number of oxygen is 3, the number of oxygen is 3. But the number of hydrogen is 2 here and number of chlorine is 2 here. So this type of equation is known as unbalanced equation. To balance it, we have to put 2. Number of hydrogen is 2 and number of hydrogen is 2. Number of chlorine is 2. Number of chlorine is 2. Now it is balanced equation. And this is the way in which we can write the equation. First, we have to write the two substances of one two or maybe more than two substances with putting arrow in between them. These are the reactant side. After reacting them, the products are formed, and these products are also separated by the putting plus sign. If the product may be 1, 2 or more than 2. Here is 3 product: calcium chloride, water and carbon dioxide. Significance of chemical equation.
Ma'am, we cannot see the board.
Yes, do you have any doubt?
Ma'am,
No
we
doubt,
cannot
ma'am.
see the board.
Board.
Okay, I will manage
Ma'am, we
it.
cannot see the board.
Now it is clear.
No,
Ma'am, from
ma'am. The
Okay,
outside.
upper
fine.
lines are not clear.
Ma'am, from outside.
This one.
Ma'am, no.
No.
Now
Ma'am, from outside. That chemical. You reckon?
Ma'am, we cannot see the upper two lines.
upper two lines. Okay. Now
Yes. Yes,
significance of
ma'am.
Okay,
chemical
ma'am.
equation.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. There are two types of significance of chemical reactions, and it is qualitative and quantitative. First, qualitative significance is represent the names of reactant and product. There are two types of qualitative. Qualitative. Yeah. They give the name of reactant and product. Give the information about product and reactant. Give the name and information about reactant and product. Then next significance of chemical reaction is qualitative. Qualitative and quantitative. It's a quantitative. Qualitative and this is. In this, we can find the number of it represent in quantitative significance the relative molecules of reactant and product. They give the information of molecules of product and reactant. Product and reactant. Give the information about the molecules of product and reactant. Means how many molecules of magnesium sulfate is reacting and forming the manganese and sulfate and etc. The relative number of moles of reactant and product give the information of moles of reactant and product, and their atomic mass give the information about the atomic mass or relative mass of their rela- relative mass of product and reactant. this is this is the quantitative significance of chemical reaction. They give the information about the molecules reacting and the molecules present after the produced after the reaction. They give the information about the moles of reactant and moles of product forming after the reaction. Then they give the information about the molecular mass of the reactant and product. Balancing the equation. The next topic is balancing the equation. How to balance the equation? It's a big task, so be very careful about balancing them. What is the principle to balance the equation and why it is necessary? Why it is necessary to balance the equation? See, I gave you the example CaCO3 plus HCl, and the products are CaCl2 plus H2O plus CO2. If we are not balancing the equation, see, if we are not balancing the equation, the number of hydrogen is 1, but here the number of hydrogen is 2. Number of chlorine atom is 1 in product side, reactant side, and the number of atom are 2 at the product side. So in this way we can say that the number of hydrogen and chlorine are increasing after the reaction. So this is not satisfy the conservation law. Law of conservation is not satisfied with the unbalanced equation. So it is necessary to balance the equation to satisfy the uh, conservation law. Law of conservation of mass is, in a reaction, total mass of product must be equal to the total mass of reactant. Conservation of mass. The law of conservation of mass, and according to this mass, number of reaction in a reaction, mass of product is equal to the mass of reactant. This is, if there is uh, any unbalanced situation is there, number of product and number of reactant, mass of product and reactant are not equal, the law is not satisfied, and due to this we have to balance the equation. And what are the principle and what are the method of balancing equation? There are different method of balancing the equation. Various method: heat and trial method, heat and trial, then partial equation method, then oxidation number, fourth is ion electron method, and the algebraic method. Algebraic method. These are the method to balance the equation. But the simplest one is heat and trial method, and we have to study about this only in this. This reaction we will see in the next higher classes. Then steps to follow the heat and trial method. We are taking only heat and trial method. How to balance a chemical reaction. heat and trial method. In an equation is, if an equation is unbalanced, the number of atom of reactant side vary from those the number of atoms present on the product side. The law of conservation of mass is violated. Hence, an unbalanced equation must be balanced to satisfy the law of conservation of mass. This is done by the assigning suitable coefficient to the molecules where necessary by heat and trial. This method will be clear from the following example. I have to take one example, balance the equation. It is KClO3, Cl and O2. See, what is here? Number of potassium is 1, number of potassium is 1, number of chlorine is 1, 1, but number of oxygen vary in both sides. Here is 3 and here is 2 only. To balance is, first we have to balance the number of oxygen. It is, balance the oxygen first. Balance the oxygen first. To balance oxygen, what we have to do? KClO3, KCl plus O2. So make it 3. Set a coefficient 2 before KClO3 and 3. If we put here 2, the number of oxygen is 2 multiplied 3 equal to 6. Here is 2. If I am putting here 3, then the number of oxygen atom is 6. Number of oxygen is clear here. Then take the another thing. 2 potassium, step 2. In this we have to balance the potassium and chlorine. Now balance potassium and chlorine. KClO3, it is now 2. 2 KClO3, KCl plus thrice O2, and it is 2. Now the equation is balanced. Equation is balanced. Thus the equation balanced. It is clear to you? First we have to balance the number of oxygen atom. To equalize them, we have to put coefficient 2 before the KClO3 and it makes the number of atom equal to 6. To make the number of atoms 6 on the product side, we have to put 3 as a coefficient and it becomes the total number of oxygen is 6. After that, we have to balance the number of potassium atom and chlorine. To balance them, we have to put 2 before KCl. And thus number of potassium is 2, chlorine is 2, oxygen is 6. Number of potassium is 2, number of chlorine is 2, and the number of oxygen is 6. It is clear to you? Yes? I'm taking another example of aluminium and sulfuric acid. Now it change into Al2
From outside we cannot.
whole thrice plus H2. Number of aluminium is 1 here and here is 2. So first we have to balance the sulfate atom. Balance sulfate first. this way, Al plus H2SO4, Al2 plus H2. Here see, what is here? Number of sulfate atom is 3, but here is 1. To balance it, we have to put 3 before the sulfuric acid. Now, on putting the 3 before the sulfuric acid, it makes the number of hydrogen 6. It makes the number of hydrogen 6. We have balanced number of sulfate, but it makes the number of hydrogen atom 6. But here is 2 only. Then step 2. In this step, we have to balance the number of hydrogen. Balance number of hydrogen. Then it is Al plus thrice H2SO4, and it is Al2SO4 thrice plus thrice H2. Now it becomes 6. The number of hydrogen is 6 here, and the number of sulfate is 3, and here is number of aluminium is 2, but here is number of aluminium is 1 only. So at last, third step, we have to put step 3. Balance aluminium. To balance aluminium, we have to put before the aluminium. Plus thrice H2SO4, and it becomes this and this. Now the equation is balanced. Number of aluminium atom is 2 and 2. Number of hydrogen is 6. Then number of hydrogen is 6. Number of sulfate is 3. And the number of sulfate is 3. Due to this, in this way we have balanced the number of all the atoms present in both the side, and in this way we have balanced the equation. Aluminium react with the sulfuric acid and forming aluminium sulfate and hydrogen. The third example is balance the following equation. Example 3. It is H2S hydrogen sulfide react with the sulfur dioxide and forming sulfur and water. In this way, first we have to balance oxygen. Step 1. Balance oxygen. Oxygen first. See, H2S plus SO2 plus H2O. See, number of oxygen is 2 here. Then, but here is 1 only. To make it 2, we have to put 2. And on putting this 2, the number of hydrogen becomes 4. After that, balance the number of hydrogen. H2S plus SO2 twice H2O See, number of hydrogen is 4. To make the number of hydrogen 4, we have to put 2 here. It becomes the number of hydrogen is 2. After that, number of sulfur is 2. 2 and 1, 3. Then sulfur is 3. 2 and 3. Then in third step, we have to put valence sulfur. 2S2S plus SO2 thrice S plus twice S2O. And this is the balance equation. 2 and 1, 3 sulfur. Here is 3 sulfur. 4 hydrogen, 4 hydrogen. Number of oxygen is 2 and the number of oxygen is 2. So in this way we have balanced the equation. The equation is balanced now. The last example of balancing the equation is example 4 is C6H12 plus O2. It is forming 6CO2 plus H2O. First we have to balance the number of carbon. CO2 plus H2. Step 1. Balance carbon first. Number of carbon is 6 and number of carbon is 1 only. So make it 6 by putting 6 before the CO2. C6H12 plus O2, 6 CO2 plus H2O. On putting this 6 before the CO2, it makes the number of oxygen is 12. 6 2 ja 12. To make the 12 or 1, 13. 6. 12H. Balance the hydrogen. Number of hydrogen is 2 here and number of hydrogen is 12 here. Balance the hydrogen. On balancing this, plus 6H2O. 6H2O. It is 12 and the number of hydrogen is 12 here. On making this, number of oxygen becomes 6 and 12, 18. Number of oxygen is 18 here. Total oxygen is 18. To make it 18, we have to put here 9. 9 to the 18. Step 3. Balance the oxygen. C6H12 plus O2, 9 O2 and it becomes 6 CO2 plus 6 H2O. Now it is balanced. Number of carbon atom is 6, number of carbon atom is 6. Number of hydrogen is 6, 12. Then the number of hydrogen is 12. 6 2 ja 12. Number of oxygen is 18. 9 2 ja 18. And the number of oxygen is 18 here. How there? It is 12 here and 6 here. Total is 18. In this way, the equation is balanced. Equation is balanced. This is the way in which we can balance the equation. Do you want to ask anything? Do you want to ask anything? I am leaving the class. Try to solve the worksheet. Have a good day.